Awesome.
What's up?
Not that I keep I don't really like. I'm not like, oh, we have, because if I really cared about subscriber count, I'd be like only 300. Oh God, you know.
No, that's actually like we're getting there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's organic reach. That's organic fucking reach. That we didn't get that because we had collabs. We didn't get that because we were in somebody's server. We didn't do that because somebody fucking shouted us out. That is organic and that is tight.
Yeah.
That is how you get picked up by the fucking algorithm, my friends. Anyways.
Before we get into the hot button issue of CEOs and
Happy
whatnot.
CEO Assassination Day! Woo!
Yeah, woo! Any updates from anyone? Like, like what we're doing, our lives, is everyone, or is it just like everything sucks, nothing to report?
I feel like I can talk about that in the context of the CEO assassination.
Okie doke.
I don't know. I think for me, everything's pretty, I don't know, pretty normal, really. I don't really have...
I'm doing witchcraft stuff, but I don't like to put it out there, Sorry, go ahead. I interrupted you, Scott.
No, it's fine. No, I've been feeling, honestly, I don't really even know where I'm at right now. I mean, like, I'm getting stuff done. Like, I have school in a couple weeks, I guess. I go back. Finally. So that's cool. That's about really it, though. Like, everything else is like all the same old, and I don't like to be that person who like goes to the gym and just only talks about that. So, like, I'm proud of my success. I mean, I'm proud of it, right? Like,
they're a gym buddy now. I'm not gonna call you a gym bro because you're definitely not a bro, but you're a gym buddy now.
A gym hoe.
Yeah.
A gym hoe.
I mean,
gym hoe. Let's go, gym hoe.
I'm proud of my success. So I don't know. Yeah, no, everything's been pretty neutral. Everything's been, I don't know, very mundane here. Honestly, it's all very, very mundane. Family and some family like stuff. You know how it is.
Oh yeah.
Nothing interesting really.
Well,
I got a lot going on, but I can't talk about it on live. Sorry, y'all. But I will be filling y'all the fuck in afterwards when I tap Scott for some divination.
That will happen.
The great
Probably
oracle,
not today,
Scott.
but it will happen.
Probably not today, you say?
No, I wanted to say that to you. I probably can't get that out to you. There's really no divination coming out of this noggin today because I had 2 birthdays to go to yesterday, and I spent like 7 hours with like 3 people under the age of 10.
Not even just one card flip? Not even one measly card?
I got you tomorrow. I swear. Tomorrow when I sleep,
okay.
I will be back to normal, and you will get more than 1 card flip. But
okay, we got to find out some really intricate shit, and I'll tell you what the shit is after the episode.
And it all culminated with having to walk a drunk Darian home from less than like a block.
Oh
boy. Holy.
So, which was fun. It wasn't bad, but that's how my night ended, and I'm tired and exhausted, and
yeah. That's fair.
But I promise you, I got you on the divination. I do. I swear.
I believe it.
The great oracle.
You just had a few rough weeks, Scott. And I understand it. Sometimes life be like your ass getting pounded right now.
Literally.
You're like, okay, yeah, my ass is getting pounded. And then you recover and you move on from your ass pounding.
As most people do.
I wish. Not Brian Thomas, though. Let's get into that. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Did you hear that they found his backpack full of Monopoly money?
Yes. So here's a theory of mine. Did you also know that the website...
That's awesome.
Hear me out. Did you also know that the website that sells his backpack is completely sold out?
Yes. Yeah.
There was a whole cosplay contest in the
I've heard talk of people leaving false clues. I would not be fucking slightly shocked to find out that backpack is a red herring left by the public filled with Monopoly money to say fuck you as a critique on the system. Like
This man.
it could have been him, or it could have been anybody. We don't actually know, and that's one thing I want to present to y'all, because that backpack is sold the fuck out right now.
This man is an American hero.
This man's G.I. Joe. He's a real American hero.
He is a fucking
I knew
hero.
where you were gonna go with that. Everybody's
a
going
legend.
with that. And you know
like,
what pisses me off most about the fucking situation?
Oh,
How
Kai,
the media is playing
hold
this
on one
shit.
second, Sophia. To fill you in, Kai, who is here in the chat. I love you, Kai, for always hanging out with us. We were talking about the American hero that zip zop blip blopped. Yeah, assassinated a fucking CEO. Yeah, that guy.
Mr. Smile Guy. Smile Guy.
Blippity bloppity zippity zop.
That all the gays are thirsting over right now.
Know. I doubt that those pictures of his face are even the same guy that
I don't think
who actually shot him.
I said that. Every picture looks different.
It's a different
here's
person.
the thing.
They're just trying. I think they're just trying to find someone, because I don't think they can find him.
They're trying to pin it on anybody.
I think he's long fucking gone.
Yeah.
I think he's long fucking gone, and the problem that they're having is they're gonna try to find somebody to pin this on.
Yeah,
I think that's what I was saying, because they have to, or somebody has to get arrested.
Episode.
You know, to make them look good, to make them look like they're doing something. But
the big thing is to make sure that people don't think that this is something that they can personally do. They really want to discourage the public from getting any idea that this is a tenable way to deal with your oppression, because let's be real, it is. I'm so sick of the news networks trying to spin this like it's horrible and stuff. We have corporations and corporate dictators, because that's what they fucking are. They buy your laws, they buy your countries, they buy your freedom. What are you supposed to do?
And now
protest endlessly, hold up signs, let police fucking riot gas you and shoot you with beanbag shotguns, fucking profile you and bomb you and assassinate you in your sleep like other fucking American political movement. Enough is a fucking enough. They always want to tell us the power of love is what wins, but guess what? The power of violence made them fucking shudder in their walls. And that's not even what scared them most. It's the public's unanimous support of it and unwillingness to even cooperate with the investigations.
Yeah, because
that's what scares them most. And that's where the media's fucked up the most. The media fucked up. I was saying this to Rue right in the get-go. If they had acknowledged the American plight and said, we understand the working class is getting fucked, and there's a reason why this probably happened because of that, you would not be having people massively disinvesting from the system right now.
But that literally would never happen.
No.
Not in the United States.
Exactly.
No way.
But that's the thing too. Everybody's realizing that the mainstream media is just there to tell you how to feel, right?
Media's already bought.
You could have somebody on your hear me out. You could have somebody on your fucking block get shot, and you might not even hear a news beat about it, right?
I had it happen in my life. It happened to me.
Yeah,
someone was shot outside of my apartment complex.
And a jackass rich guy dies, and suddenly everybody on the news is freaking out. And when they said the NYPD is putting extra officers on the street to make sure you're safe, they said that because they want people to conflate their safety with the safety of the wealthy elite. People are not that fucking stupid. You're asking the people who you've actively been killing and starving and destroying to just approve of their endless torment and oppression. No, and I think this is the start of something really fucking big, and everybody is saying that because look at the art. There's graffiti everywhere. There's fucking t-shirts.
It has that sort of fire that the George Floyd protests had behind them.
Yeah.
It has that same
fuel. This is the modern Guy fucking Fawkes, is what it feels like, okay?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
And that's why they're scared.
We talk about American hero figures, right? But all these people that we're thinking about, a lot of times we always default to the Revolutionary War. We haven't had that many wars on actual American soil, right? We've only had a fucking the Revolutionary War and then the fucking Civil War. And then there was the French Indian War or something like that.
Too.
Yeah, those.
Mm-hmm. So the Indian Wars as well.
Right. So you have all of those, but there's not many, right? Not like Europe. They have a lot more conflicts and stuff, like Europe at large. Whatever. Point being, when we default to who is an American hero, we always think about these old ass motherfuckers from the Revolutionary War or the Civil War is usually where we default to, because where else do we have to look?
They've been
And
deified.
that's so dated at this point. Like, society is so different, and we're so far from that, maybe what the American dream was supposed to be, right? We're so far removed from that it's like, who are our modern day American heroes? That motherfucker right there. Him. He is an American hero. And like, as much as the media wants to fight it, they can't. The more information that they feed us, the more that we're like, yeah, like, it's, I don't know. I'm here. I don't want to say I'm here for it in the sense of like, I genuinely, I don't want to see people dead. I don't like the idea of humans dying.
I do.
Right?
Look, I'm gonna be real.
In general,
it is not. Look, yeah, it's an abstract concept, but we don't live in a world of abstracts. We live in a world where people do things and deserve things. And this isn't just like a random person dying. I get sad when somebody dies in a car crash because often it's by somebody else hitting them and they had nothing to do with it and they couldn't avoid it. That fucking sucks and that's a tragedy, okay? But like somebody who's actively oppressing billions of people needs to fucking go, and we need to stop acting like we can allow this as a society. It's the fucking breaking point. The systems are literally falling apart. They're trying to defund even like reinfrastructuring the fucking country. They want you all to suffer and die, and they will legislate you away a slow death and poisoning via fucking high fructose corn syrup and every goddamn food that you have, lead in your pipes, and every other fucking type of toxin that they can shove down their fucking throats at you, all while denying you every bit of fucking care and service from this that you need to deal with the system that's fucking killing you. Right? Because it's just a war on poor people. Because that shit ain't in rich people's food. And we're fucking so tired of being gaslit about something we all know is happening just because every fucking institution doesn't want to talk about it. And that's why this is such a real deal issue.
Yep.
I was saying yesterday to my mother and Christian, we were talking about it, and I maintain the fact that and you know, I really hope I don't offend anybody. I maintain the fact that I really wish that none of this had to lead to death. I don't.
That's what I'm saying.
I will not celebrate death regardless.
Totally.
I don't like it. But what I said was, it was actually kind of poetic, and I keep saying it to myself the past couple of days. I can empathize on a human level, but if they took their professionally polished shoes off of our neck, shit like this wouldn't happen.
Right.
That's what I said. Right. And as far as what Sophia said about consequences of actions, you know, like, sure, I'm human. I'm not a sociopath. I'm not like, yeah, you're fucking dead. Ha. Like, I'm not a sociopath. But like, I can also not sort of be like, you know, I don't have all this swelling empathy. I know why it happened. I get why it happened. I live in a household that doesn't make a lot of money, that never made a lot of money. You know, the doors and things that just don't open. I've said before on this podcast, and I say it to this day, that everything that all of the social issues that we talk about on this podcast, and there are some people that strongly disagree, and they're free to, but I am free to interpret the information that I have as I see fit as well. And I've always said that at its, like, if you were to water down all of it, if you were to water down racism, transphobia, homophobia, you just water it all down into its, you know, into its core stuff, and you get this distillate. It's class warfare. It's a way to pit people against each other. It's a way to put you physically in particular places, which we all know through studying gentrification. We all, you know, in the end, this shit wouldn't have to happen if they took, again, their professionally polished shoes off our neck, because let's be real, they never wore a boot a day in their lives. But unless it was something pretty to look fashionable. But you know, growing up a kid who, you know, I'll never forget, speaking of boots, and it's weird for me to talk about it this way because we all know my relationship with my father, but one thing is that I can remember is being young, and I would play with my toys, or I'd color on the floor. And I remember I would go towards my father's steel-toed boots, because he was a EMS, he was a paramedic, and I would accidentally touch him. No, 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 and he would like have to, because then he'd be like, oh, you know. And I would hear him, of course, over the years. I learned it's because they're covered in blood and pee and viscera,
yeah.
you know. And the thing is like they don't do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like these people don't. They've never had to tell their kids don't touch that, because you know it's you know it's dirty. You know what I mean? Like they've never had to come up with that little lie. So that's why I say they're professionally polished shoes. But yeah, that's. I hope. Did I get too passionate? I'm so sorry.
No,
Okay.
not at all. Get more passionate.
No.
We had a moment.
Screaming for the people that mess that up. My words trip over themselves sometimes.
No, your camera is a bit off from your voice, so it was throwing me off. Like your
Oh
voice,
yeah,
your
that
mouth,
also happens.
Yeah. So you're speaking before your mouth moves, and it threw me off.
Real life lag time.
We're in the same house. No, we had a moment at Walmart earlier. We had to go to Walmart. So I was just doing I needed some pants. Walmart's got cheap pants, okay? So I'm doing an exchange because the pants were the wrong size. So we're in line to do an exchange. Now, at security at the door, you know, like checking receipts or working security, whatever, is this very like she looks like a Hispanic girl, like very butch, I guess, you know. I would look very queer, right? Probably lesbian, whatever. And then at the counter, the exchange counter, is this, you know, like young trans girl. And I'm like, okay, cool. Look at us. Look at this queer representation at Walmart, right? So, you know, we're just in here, we're doing our thing, we do our exchange. We're pretty sure we witnessed a gift card scam with the guy in front of us.
Right in front of our face. He bought like 20 different gift cards with a debit card that we're pretty sure he didn't own. And I could tell this poor girl, she was trying like her best to
not
like
do it,
figure out if this is fraud. Like there's only so much you can do. I used to work at Walmart. I had to take all the trainings, and she asked every question that she could ask, and he had a debit card that he could use. And so I hope it's not fraud, and I hope it's like a small businessman that just bought like a lot of gift cards for his employees. But
or maybe like a grandpa who's sending out a cheap gift card to each of his grandkids. We can hope.
No,
we
I
hope.
don't think so.
We can hope. But so you know, all of these things are happening, and you know, we're just at Walmart, whatever, just living our fucking lives, the lives of the working class, right? And so we do our things, and then we're leaving the Walmart, and all I could think, and I was like, okay, so we have these two very obvious queer people like manning the front of the Walmart store, right? You got, you know, your trans girl working the counter, and you have like your butch lesbian working fucking security. And tell me how queer people don't exist. We're fucking degenerates, pieces of shit. We don't contribute to society, but here we are working at fucking Walmart, you sons of bitches, right? And then
which we have been for decades,
forever, right? So then I started going even deeper in my head, like I was just ranting like on the way back to the car. And
we also saw a queer. Oh my god, I saw this. I had to literally turn down the music. I had to turn down my Wicked soundtrack, which I have been listening to nonstop since I've seen it. Everybody needs to go see Wicked. Now,
yes.
that was a random plug. This girl literally was running out of the Michaels wearing a rainbow skirt and a fuzzy pink sweater, and she had a pink crop cut. And I rolled down my window. I'm like, I love your fit.
Yeah.
And it was just the most genuine moment.
So like
we're here, we're queer, get used to it. I feel like haven't we been saying that for 30 years?
Forever. Yeah. It was just this moment, and then it all clicked. I was like, and it's so funny. And the whole reason they're doing this class warfare thing is because they want to pit the people that shop at Walmart. They want to pit the customers of Walmart against the employees of Walmart, because the employees of Walmart are degenerates and they just work at Walmart and they're poor people and they can't afford things and blah 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 blah. But I'm a good, upstanding citizen because I can afford to buy things at Walmart. Fuck you, dude. You're shopping at Walmart. You're shopping at Walmart because that's all
Exactly.
you can fucking afford, you piece of shit. The real problem is the motherfucker who owns the Walmart. Okay, this is the problem. Okay,
There
and
was the
like,
picture of deceased Sam Walton that was hanging on the wall, and literally Jay,
think
Like a
I-
fucking
the
saint.
owner of Walmart.
yeah,
And I'm like, yes, welcome to the cult. They literally, the chant is real. It's a cult, man, and it's like the largest cult in America.
evil. But it just like I was just having like a fucking like meltdown in my head, and I was like, and this is just what I can't fucking stand, because we are not the goddamn problem. We're the ones out here working, upholding community, but you're trying to just pit us against each other, and man, people buy it. They buy it and they eat it up, and it's just so dumb. It's like you're creating classes that don't exist. You're creating elite levels of people that don't exist. You are shopping at Walmart. Period. Like, I don't know what to tell you. How does it make me a degenerate for working
they're
at
an idiot.
Walmart, if not you a degenerate for shopping at Walmart?
Just tell them they're an idiot, pure and simple.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's always that, but
Mm.
bang bang.
Deny, defend, oppose. What? Gonna get that tattooed on my forehead. No, JK.
You know, it's funny. I do have 3 like bullet casings downstairs
Mm-hmm.
in my
Mm.
collection of thingies.
Are we casting for the protection of this young man?
Mm.
I think we're
I'm-
casting for the protection of this young man.
I think we all are subconsciously.
I
Like-
definitely have been thinking about ways to obscusify him, to be honest, just because, like,
Mm-hmm.
I
it
never
kind
want
of,
him to
like,
get caught.
and it's funny because I know one might say, well, your position may, and although I don't think it is, like, country to, but it's not. My thing is like, again, he wouldn't have did it if it wasn't, like, multiple people. It's funny because even my mom said it. She was like, I bet you any amount of money we're going to find out that, he eventually at some point in time that it was, he lost a kid because he couldn't pay for like his cancer treatment, or a wife, or a close family member, something, right?
Or himself.
I was gonna
Or
say the
best
And
friend.
sad reality.
a lot of people said that, and I mean, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, I can't fault you for your rage because what's happening is wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
It's just a shame it had to play out like that.
right. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want it to play out like
The
this.
thing
I
is-
really,
But it
I
has
don't.
to.
But you want to know something? Oh, I'm so sorry, Sophia.
No, go ahead. I just wanted to pose a question. Go ahead and make your point.
No, it's okay. I was just rambling. You know me. I was just rambling.
The thing is it wrong to celebrate the death of a monster? I don't think it is. We celebrated the death
No.
of Hitler, right? Hitler killed a lot of people. I don't think you have to be a sociopath to be happy that somebody who's causing a lot of suffering is gone.
It's just the
Right.
killing in general, like the overall, the killing, the constant killing.
But
Like,
like,
in order
real
to stop
talk,
killing, we
everybody
have to
dies.
kill.
Like,
It's like,
okay, but like, how many people has this guy killed? How much blood is
Yeah.
on his hands? Right.
I'm not
Same with the
And
billionaires.
anymore.
They
not
will. They
knocking that at all.
literally happily will kill
Someone
us
actually-
to make a little extra bit of money.
Every amount.
Someone did the math on that, actually. Somebody did the math on how many people he killed, and it equals out to about 3 million.
There you have it.
Because 10,000, they basically broke down. So UHC denies 30% of insurance claims, and if you pull there was like 333 million insurance claims each year against UHC, and basically, like, yeah, 10,000 each year he worked, and he worked for I don't know how many years.
There you have it. 3 million people. So yeah, that's a wonderful thing, right? You take out the guy who killed 3 million people. Sure. It just sucks that, like, as a species, we still have to keep... It's the fact that the only way to get something done is to fucking kill. And that...
Right.
It's like we have so
And
much
that is
knowledge and
worse.
so
Why
much
is it
intellect
there?
and...
Exactly. Why are we still at that point?
Right. Like, we're not cavemen anymore.
Well, like, hear me out though. Are we not though? Like, hear me out on one regard. We like to think we're not animals, right? Is there a thing that you eat that was not alive at one point?
No.
That's true.
Exactly. Yeah. Nature teaches us we have to fight. We come up with, as people, we come up with all of these rules and all of these laws to try and explain everything. But nature also makes things pretty simple. You should protect your young. You should make sure that they have a future. You should take care of yourself. You need to eat. If nature thought it was wrong for things to kill to eat itself, it wouldn't make predators, right? Like, we have really removed ourselves from our animal's spirit. We really forget how many of us eat meat? How many animals have we consumed a year that have been killed for our own personal food? And I don't even think I should stop eating meat. I think that we should change how the factory farming industry works. But we hand wave so much death for our own moral platitudes. But we forget that we have a society that's fundamentally built on it, right? And if it was inherently negative, why do we all die? Why does nature have so much conflict within it? Why do birds even fight with each other over their own territory? So many people like to rationalize conflict like it's a human invention, but like animals compete with each other all the time because the number one competitor for your resources is the thing that fights like you and thinks like you and eats like you, right? Every animal almost always get certain territorial with each other, right? That's why they get into herds. That's why they get into packs, right?
I guess for me, when you break
packs of wolves fight all the time.
If you break humans down to like an animal level, like say like, okay, my house is my cave, and we live in a lawless society, and anyone can just come in, you know, take over my town, my neighborhood, my, you know, whatever. I just I don't know, it makes life really bleak if your whole existence is just to not get killed by another person.
The fact
Like,
remains,
imagine if we could just have a beautiful
binary.
world in which we didn't have to kill each other.
And the thing is, most people are trying to push towards that, right? But it's the problem is, it's the people who are holding us back from that. We have the resources and the knowledge and the ability to do that. The problem is the people who are, air quotations, leaders are not leading. They are dominating. They're destroying. They're pillaging and ripping apart the fundamental society that birthed them so that they can personally take more. We're not fighting people. That's the idea. That's the ideology of a cancer cell. We're fighting memetics is what we're doing, right? And honest to God, we're fighting the archetype, the memetic of greed, the memetic of I deserve to have what I want to have above all else, and the personal self is the greatest, right? And if you embody the archetype of greed, and that's what's killing society, we're only celebrating our own emancipation. Nobody wants this man. Like, I don't think that those people should be murdered ultimately. If they could be put in a jail cell, sure, we could do that. But the system will not dismantle itself. We have to do that. And it won't even let us protest anymore.
What were you saying, Scott?
And I think, I mean, you know, I made my position obviously pretty clear, but I think that you can understand. I mean, like, I don't want to, you know, I don't think it's really necessarily to debate or anything, but like,
oh, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just like stating how I feel on the situation.
I was saying, like, I just think that it's possible, like, in my position, or at least as far as where I come from, where I'm coming from, is like, I think it's possible that the will to fight and the knowing the need to fight being sort of like, you're making me do this and I hate you for that too. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't want to. I literally don't want to have to. And you know something, I don't even know what I really, as far as what I have available to me emotionally, psychologically, physically, monetarily, et cetera, isn't much. I have to worry about a sick partner. I have stuff that I have to take care of, real life stuff. But I still
People
know,
forget about those silly little things. Those don't exist.
I still know that I have to, like, that things have to be done, right? Like, in the sense of, no matter what size it is, I know I still have to fight. I know I still have to have disagreements with assholes. I just, you know what it is that I know that these like, that man, the asshole who was gunned down, who was killed, whatever, I don't care. he didn't see us as people. The
No.
chances that he saw poor people as people is really slim to none.
Yeah, that's it.
But one thing that I remembered from therapy was that we can never truly, I don't want to just talk about it in a therapeutic way. I want to talk about it in just a realistic way because of how this relates to how we process and move through things like this. We often have people who were harmed. I'm sure there's a lot of us on here who have experienced some form of abuse. And oftentimes it's very easy to call them monsters, right?
Right.
The thing is that they are already sick enough to not see us as monsters. But the thing is that it is in our best interest to humanize them. It is how we think better than them. It is how we think clearer than them. So yes, this is exactly what happened is exactly what happens when you kick the poor and working class. This has happened over and over and over again, and we see progress from this. 100%. I just really wish that we didn't have to keep coming back here over and over again.
The same cycle.
And it's frustrating because we are
we'll get
animals.
past it eventually.
You know, and we are animals. That is true. Like, I mean, at our core, we're a mammal, and we are. But the thing is about our species is that the miraculousness of our evolution,
our ability to work together,
a level of consciousness.
Yeah.
That and although animals are they're a lot more conscious than we've ever thought they were. Modern science is proving that animal consciousness is much more considerable than what we originally thought. But we already know what we're capable of. You know what I mean? We know what we're capable of, and the fact is that I think that there's a lot of frustration in reconciling how are we so capable that this is all we have.
Right.
It is truly it's unfortunate. You know, it's unfortunate, and I don't want to. The one thing that they've never been able to.
If you wish.
I'm so sorry.
I said I can offer platitudes as to why this is happening afterwards, if you wish.
I mean, you can. Yeah, totally. No, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's just frustrating. I'm just lamenting, really, honestly. I'm just lamenting. Yeah.
No, bro, I think you were saying
the thing
something.
Is
lamenting.
Go ahead.
I was rambling, sorry. I got wistful, sorry. Started looking off in the distance.
While you were talking, Sky, I think Rue was trying to say something, but I don't know if it's still poignant.
No, I was just as someone who's been literally on the receiving end of health insurance, just saying, no, your life doesn't matter. Like, Denise, they were just gonna let my mom die because she didn't have health insurance. And even when we got health insurance, we had to pay $10,000. We had to have a fucking raise a fund, have a fundraiser. I'm tripping over my words again. Have a fucking fundraiser to raise the $10,000 deductible, or else she would have died. And this was like 20 years ago. And literally the first thought that I had, like, once I saw the video on TikTok literally like the next morning. I was like, lol, that's gonna blow up. And then I saw it on Reddit, and it is just, and that's the only place, as Sophia was saying, it's been really crazy that's really, it has been talked about on mainstream media. Like, I've noticed,
by the
big
influencers,
not by the bigwigs. No, like 6ABC ran like a 2-minute article on it. But the thing is, I was like, most likely they will never find this person, and most likely this person themselves is probably dying of something, and UHC caused their death. So that would lead me to shoot their CEO. And so even if they do find him, he probably only has months to live. Because and that is what drives the situation 99% of the time. Like if I had a chance to shoot the CEO of Aetna in the fucking head with 3 bullets, I would.
The opportunity was there, and if you were facing down, I got X amount of time, fuck it.
I don't think that's wrong. I don't think it's wrong to
No.
feel that way. I don't think it's wrong to do it. I've said many times, it's not a good act to defend a bad person or heal them, and it's not an ill act to curse a bad person who deserves it.
Mm-hmm. We're caught in that morality kind of crisis thing, like not with everything not being
the
black
reason. The reason we have to use violence is because we're dealing with exploitation that goes back to the age of kings, the Bronze Age. This is the wealthy ruling elite trying to re-exert control over modern society and say we can utilize and usurp the systems you have built to build a new age of kings, and you will be our fucking serfs. You will own nothing and you will love it. And they are literally trying to take away every bit of our livelihood. The amount of time I have spent struggling and suffering and working egregious amounts of hours just to pay my basic rent and also end up starving at the same time is fucking disgusting. I am I've suffered so much in my fucking life. I've been a laborer since I was 15. I'm a trans woman. I've been shit on by so many people in so many fucking jobs.
And it's not
I
that
have
you're
been
ever looking
pushed out
for
of so many
luxury.
areas.
It's not that you're ever looking for luxury. You're just
I
looking
just
for
want
a
a
little
place
bit
to
of
live.
some comfort,
And they've
peace,
denied
security.
me even the most basics.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I care?
Like, I don't think you could. Like,
Why
what
shouldn't
is
I?
this? What's
Why
a studio
shouldn't
apartment in Toronto?
In Canada?
Yeah,
like
in
$2
your.
grand.
That's insane. Like,
For
that's
a
kind of like
one-bedroom
what
or some shit. Stupid.
Yeah, that's like what it is here. It's like a disgusting amount of money.
You're lucky if you're getting it for like $1,200 or some shit.
Right,
If you're
and it's like
paying under
probably like
that,
a
you're living with other
shitbox.
people.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a secret. As long as I've lived in my entire adult life, I've never had a place to myself. Not once, not ever. I've
Right,
always had to have roommates. I'm that poor. I've never worked a job that wasn't labor, that didn't exploit me, that didn't use me, that didn't dehumanize me, that didn't injure me. Why do I owe them anything?
Agreed.
Even sympathy.
I've been in positions to where
I got yelled at for saying that same thing at work.
What? Oh. Oh yeah.
That was basically what I sent to Caitlin that got me yelled at by Canada.
Remember, guys.
I had another
thing is-
meltdown at my job and screamed at my boss, and it was just fun.
Yeah.
We already crab rave every time a monster dies, don't we?
Oh,
We were happy when Rush
crab
Limbaugh
raving.
died of cancer.
Oh yeah. It's kind of like what Scott was saying, is that it's just, the fact that we keep coming back to the same fucking thing over and over again. It's like, come on, like, we could
You know
do
what,
so
though?
much better.
It's not our choice, though, because like it keeps coming back to it because people who want to be kings use the same old trick that's happened since the dawn of fucking time on us, right? And that's why we have to keep doing the same old shit, because there's really only one solution to the same old fucking trick in the book, right?
But so there
And it
is
sucks,
issues.
but it's the nature of where we're at.
The issue is there are tyrants on both sides. So even
What do you
on
mean?
even on the side that we consider the left, right? There are still extremists and tyrants on that side, because if it were up to them,
to be a tyrant, you have to wield institutional power.
what I'm saying is, if it were up to them, it would be like fascism, but different. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the central authority, but it's for your good, and like,
I don't.
So
the thing is, I don't actually know anybody like that who's not on the internet only, and there are such commonly provable things of COINTELPRO and CIA and government agencies going online to pretend to be people to sow more extremist views. Like, this is why if you go to protests, it's very common knowledge that the people who are advocating to blow up the buildings are almost always the cops, right? the people who are saying that really stupid shit are almost always like extremists planted there to draw the movement into a negative way, right? It's not like most people, real talk, most people aren't crazy extremists. I have never met a person once off the internet who was actually like that, right? Everybody else just wants some very basic things: enough to eat, a place to live without having to pay too much, their medical safety and taken care of for their friends and their family, and enough to buy small conveniences. We're not even looking for much. We're just looking for the basic survival. And a society that has just mountains upon mountains of decadence on top of itself denies people the most basic forms of care for what? So that people who already have more than they can ever have more. Most people just want to be able to live. Most leftists I know want to like move away and like divest from the system. Very few people actually like believe anything really extreme who aren't just on chronically online, and I'm not even sure they're real people.
But that's where it divides us from coming together, is because we do not have a unified left. We don't have a unified left because we have extremists that want like so much radical change so quick, so fast, hold them all accountable. You like do this and that and the third, and fuck you if you've ever shopped at Walmart, and just like there's crazy people like that, right? And then like, but a lot of the time it's like you call yourself left but you're rich. I don't know, it's just weird. Okay, like there's just a lot of weirdness out there, but we don't have a unified message because it's okay. So you get people coming together like, I just want a place to live and food and this, that, and a third, right? But I'm Christian and you're not.
Can I answer just a minute?
In
the end, I think that moral positions aside, I think that it's agreed upon largely that what needs doing, right?
Yes.
What happened for a reason. Consequences and actions and consequences.
Time to see who steps
that
up.
is agreed. I think that part of why it's funny because as we're talking about it, we're kind of I feel like we're doing the same thing, falling into that same trap where, it's sort of on one side it's like, well, why are you so sympathetic? That's sus, and then on the other side it's like, well, I'm trying to be human, but I totally agree. In the end, it doesn't. None of the moral position doesn't matter, right? Particularly with everyone on here because we're all on the same page. And I think that I don't really. I mean, I'm also a little tired, but I think that knowing what needs doing, like I was saying earlier about protecting and obfuscating this particular gentleman, I think that's important. I think it's important that he gets away with it. I think that I am dreading to find that they catch him. I don't want him to be caught.
Ever.
I want him to live free and I want him to be happy. And I want him to know that in the end, he becomes a symbol for people who are oppressed by a system. That is not the same thing as, again, me celebrating the need for death. I am not sympathetic towards the CEO. I am sympathetic towards the fact that I hate that we have to kill to get attention.
Yeah.
And I think that that's human. And I think that the one thing that these people can't take away from you is your humanity. Because they will take everything that they possibly can. Yeah, I think that we could be angry without becoming them. We can fight for ourselves however we have to fight without, and then that includes violence, because violence itself is not villainous, right? But you should fight so you don't have to fight again. Yeah. That is something I've always learned, and you learn that in martial arts, and you learn that in gun training. At least this is what I've always been taught.
I want to reach out here and say though, like, I'm never really gonna get behind the like fuck the left sentiment going on right now, because I think it's really easy to blame. I'm just saying that it's like a general vibe online, and I've seen it a lot. It's really easy to blame the left because we're trying to make a better world from an imperfect structure. We're all dealing with trauma, trying to heal, trying to learn better theory. Also, another thing that is severely under-talked about, most people who are radical left are younger. They've read less theory. They are less emotionally matured to the struggles, and they require time to mature. That's why it's always been the process of building a revolution. We're the underdogs. We don't have institutional money. We don't have like billionaires paying for think tanks on us on how to like change society the same way that they have billionaire think tanks on how to like oppress us, right? We don't have the same resources and the same advantages, and we're always getting frustrated with ourselves because we're doing it imperfectly, but like that's how we learn to do it right. We have to fuck up and we have to make mistakes, right? We're working
That's
on
it.
improving, and that's the important part. And that's the
Yes.
ultimate thing that I've seen leftists take away from this. It's just an attitude adjustment. The thing is, there are too many people who are chronically online, yes, and they're young because they don't know how to get out because they already feel disenfranchised and they don't know how to network with their people. So they have this kind of impotent rage that makes us all look really bad when people who are actually really practiced leftists are actually reaching out and doing shit in their community. Like when I get resources from a film set, like COVID supplies or extra food, you bet your ass I'm trying to do it. Everything I can to get that to community members, even if it's like leaving the food on a park bench for people to come to. And I've done that many times, right?
Mhm.
I don't post online about it. I don't do any of that shit because that's not the praxis behind it, right?
Yeah.
The important thing is trying to motivate people to be better, trying to rebuild the image, because there's been this youthful push behind it all, and we really do to like the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha coming up who are like really hopeful activists. We see you, but you also need to take a page on how to do this. We're not here to prove that we're better than anybody else. We're here to prove that a better world is possible and that we can build it together. It's going to take humility. It's going to take self-improvement.
It's
It's
gonna
going
be
to take us
messy.
getting our asses beaten by these billionaire bastards. But we're going to
Right.
win eventually because we have the power of time and the power of growth and the fact that we're on the right side of history to
Yeah.
fight with us, right?
Mhm.
Like ultimately, we can be upset. We can feel defeated, but we need to remember hearts and minds. I watched a really good video on this. People on the left have only been pushing for so long, telling people you should be a leftist because of this, you should be a leftist because of this. But we're never trying to draw people in. We're never trying to pull them. We're never trying to show them the benefits that you get and your community get out of it, right? And we need
Because
to
a lot of us
become the
haven't
role
been doing
models
it.
that we but also a lot of us don't know how to do it and are working on the process to doing it, and I'm okay with that. Like people aren't perfect, and we're on the process of trying to find out how to change a whole world from the ground up. That is a big monstrous task, and even the freest thinkers of the ages have struggled to try and emancipate humanity from the same shackles that have gone back to the Iron Ages and the ages of kings. We're fighting the same old goddamn fight, and there's more institutional wealth now than there was in the French monarchy. I can post a graph about it actually if you'd like. So like it's
Oh
going
yeah,
to be
no, that's
hard. We're going to fuck up and it's going to suck. But at the end of the day, remember, we're doing this to be better. We're the
right.
Rebel Alliance. They
Right.
are not the fucking rebels. We
Correct.
are.
Absolutely.
And this
Yeah,
is
no,
this is a
absolutely.
new hope. Or sorry, this isn't a new hope. This is Empire Strikes Back. Hoth just got raided. What are you
Right.
going to fucking do about it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to quote a game that I was just fucking playing. It's Call of Duty. Yeah, the rules
Yeah.
of the game have changed, but the game hasn't. So are you going to give up or are you going to stand up and fight? That's all you can ever
Yeah,
do.
absolutely. I think and I really like I really like what I'm sorry everybody, I'm exhausted.
You're good.
I really like what Sophia was saying because specifically I follow a couple people who are very very anti on like chronically online leftist.
Mm.
A lot of them are like the chronically online leftists, and it's true, a lot of them are very young, but they are often emboldened by older people who want to sort of rage bait a little bit. And I think a lot of it gets them views. The problem is that it did affect the American election, which I know makes us, coming from somebody who really doesn't believe in like when I try to like if I were to try like people label myself, I'm obviously on the like I mean philosophically I'm on the left, right? But like I really don't like our choice. Like I don't like the way this plays out all the time. So I
No.
tend to
This is
try
the
to say I'm
issue,
like
the left, the
I'm
right.
a
It don't
non-party
fucking matter.
loyalist, right? I don't
Exactly. It doesn't matter.
what I want is for what's best for my countrymen, right?
Mm.
I want what's best for the world. I want a world where there's equity and equality, and we're not starving, and we're not arguing over whether there could be warming stations for homeless people, although I'd rather there be no unhoused people at all. I don't want to, I don't want kids to go hungry, but it would also be nice if they have to, for if people are poor, that they at least have school food that is free to go to. I want systems to keep progressing beyond those simple sort of what are those? There's like those bumpers. There's like the bowling bumpers, whatever they're called.
Gutters.
Yeah, I want us to progress past that, but I understand that progress wasn't made in a day, and that's fine. But the thing is that and again, it's okay to be mad at those online chronic leftists. And yes, a lot of them, they protest voted or they didn't vote at all in protest. And
That's what
if
happened.
we had their backing, it probably would have made a difference. But I was angry at first, and I'm not particularly fond of those people.
Yeah.
But and I don't know that if I could be any more their friend than I could be a Trump supporter's friend. But in the end, I deeply, deeply empathize with what Sophia was saying, because it did
Well, let's
remind
be
me
clear.
of
I'm not friends with people who don't vote either. They're fucking part of the problem.
but it did remind me of my position that, like, in the end, what's really going to help us, those of us who believe in progress, those of us who believe in the way forward, in a world where there's less want or less need, excuse me, and less poverty and less sickness, then you have to continuously raise your voice. You have to continue to exist, like even just living your life more loudly as a queer person, as a person of color, as a person of minority religious faith, as as a woman, as a trans person, etc., etc., etc.
As all of the
Even that
above.
alone.
Jay was just saying earlier, he's like, I'm going to be more gay than ever. I'm like, exactly. And that's how we
Right.
protest.
And
Because we're
that
very
even that in and
straight
of itself.
passing sometimes. Like, we're very straight passing
I hate
couple.
that. I hate that.
Yeah. And sometimes I'm just like, no, I want you to know that I'm very queer. I just want you to know.
Did my words make sense?
So
they absolutely
yes,
did.
they did.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I have a total ADHD aside note, though. You know what I think is the song that really encapsulates our generation in the moment we're having right now? We didn't start the fire.
Oh my god.
You know
Right.
it's always
Bro, I'm
burning
like
since the
obsessed
world's
with the
been
call-out
turning.
version.
Mm-hmm.
I like that
Like
song,
it's
and I also
so
hate
fucking
it.
relevant right now. It's coming back though. It's like the song of the fucking decade, because all of those issues that have been talked about in every version of that song that's been written are catching up with us. Right?
All Out Boy's got the latest version, I think. I think they've
Yeah.
got
There's a
claims
few
on
other
that.
more indie covers of it,
And that's only up to
but
2020. That's only up to 2022. So they're going to release
Right.
another version. They've already said.
Right. Release one every 6 months.
give them
Lord.
like another 12 years.
Right, yeah.
We didn't start the fire. We're just trying to survive this fucking bullshit.
No,
Oh
but
my God.
I've seen... Alright, so there was... I don't know if it passed or wherever the bill went. There was a bill that passed in Congress, and it's going to go to the Senate, or it already has, I don't remember. Basically, it was saying that the president can decide if a nonprofit organization is a terrorist organization. So the president... Oopsie. The president can just say, oh, hey, not that I would foresee this happening, but hey there, small pagan pride organization, you're a terrorist. Like, hey there.
Let's be real, they always had that power.
Right. They always
had
kind of
that
did.
power.
But this bill was getting passed to make it even fucking easier, right? But, so I saw discourse online in the, I don't know, I guess, pagan organizing sphere. I was just looking, not naming any names in particular. and someone was like, "Oh, I was thinking about, starting up a chapter of this food bank network in my area, but with this recent bill coming out, I'm not sure if I should, I should probably wait or." And I'm like, my brain exploded, kind of, not that I didn't go type online mad, but I was just like, no, that you need to do that now. You need to get that paperwork drawn up now. You need to start your nonprofit the fuck now, and you need to get out there and be aggressive about it now. If you want to start a nonprofit organization, you do it now. You want to start a community network now is the time to fucking do it, and get you and one other person. That's all you really need. You, or really just you have to reach it, but you have to reach out to at least one other person, and now you have a thing. It is so important to do this shit now, and it's going to be messy, and you're not going to agree with each other on everything, and that's why we have this thing called democracy, right? And so we take votes on things, and everyone can kind of argue their positions, because I have fucked up in my position as Pagan Pride president. There was a whole debacle about using AI images, and people were not happy. And so, but did I get excommunicated from the board? No, because I realized, hey, people aren't happy about this decision. Let's think of another solution. No big deal, right? Not a big fucking deal. So community organizing is messy, and you're not going to agree, but that's the beauty of democracy. The whole point of the whole idea of the concept of democracy is everyone says their position, and we fucking vote about it. And we don't contest, okay, because it's a fucking vote, okay? We just fucking vote about it, and then we move forward with what we collectively have voted on as the best option. And do that, keep the democratic process alive in your communities, in your groups, even in your fucking D&D group. I don't care. Oh, hey guys, what's our next adventure? Oh, well, the DM said it's going to be this, but we all don't want to do that. No, fucking have a vote. I'm so serious. Keep it alive. That's my soapbox for today's episode. Keep democracy alive.
Here. Oh, but it's
Did you guys hear about the drones?
Yes, the drones with the United States military base. I'm just trying not to scare everybody about the potential of World War III being on the horizon. That's all.
No, I mean, Putin threatened it yesterday, and then there's drones everywhere. It started in North Jersey, and now it's in King of Prussia, and they only come out at night, and this is such a big deal. It's to the point now where
that too.
You can it was they're playing chicken in our airports with our planes, where as our planes are taking off, they'll get in their way with their lights on, and then turn off their lights as our planes are heading up. And then there's another news story.
I ain't going
Don't
nowhere.
shut the fuck up, but shut the fuck up.
There's two other things I'm going to add to this too, because yes, I've been reading about this. I just didn't want to scare anybody because this is really fucking scary shit. Please continue, Scott.
And then this one really, I mean, that's really scary in and of itself. And then this one is just so
this is real documented activity.
You can go online and look up.
Okay.
There's what you call it? They have there's press conferences. The FBI is looking into it, and their words were, there is no current threat to the American public, but we believe that their intention is malicious.
Yeah, so also two other things that are happening. The drones first started over United States military bases, and people were trying to kind of keep it hush-hush, but because of joint operations and shit in other nations and how operational security works, you can't really keep a lid on everything, and people were talking about the fact that drones were doing incursions over military bases. Also, you may not know this, but your phone is actually compromised right now. There's a backdoor that is compromising every single phone in the United States and probably the Western world. Maybe not all of Europe, but probably Canada too. And it's, they don't know who's doing it, but your texts are compromised, your phone calls are probably compromised. When the government is telling you to download Signal,
me and my husband have
hear me out. The government told people to download Signal. That's how fucking serious this is. I just didn't want people to freak out about it.
Wait, really?
We usually use
Yes,
Telegram for our communication. That is
Telegram's another one. As long as it's an
Yeah.
look, as long as it's an encrypted messaging service, that's what they're asking people to do right now because they don't know what's going on. And if you're anybody who has any type of clearance, you've already been briefed on this, and you are already using something that's encrypted. What was the other thing?
I have
Yeah,
assumed
it was
that
the
they
two
could
things: the
read.
military base and then the encryption.
I have used a phone with the assumption that they can read everything that I do, regardless, because that's just America. Like that, we
Okay, yes,
just
but
we mine that
it's
data
not just America
hard.
yes, but it's not just America that information goes to. It's also like China and Russia and any
Yeah.
other foreign agency that is spying
I
on
get
you.
that.
And has
Oh,
passwords
no!
as well.
No, I get that. No, completely. It's just that I have always lived my life with this idea that nothing is personal, nothing is private. There is no such thing as
Nothing
private.
is
The only
sacred.
true private thing is a face-to-face interaction
So
that you have with a person.
that's actually kind of that's kind of the double edge of the Patriot Act. I think that they're realizing now because they normalized and institutionalized spying on the American public. People have become so normalized about it that they don't even
Right.
bat an eye or don't even care when they're talking when their information is compromised to China. And you may think that you don't actually have anything useful to the Chinese government. No, maybe you saw some weird lights in the sky at a certain time of night and you're talking about it, and it's actually like a secret thing the United States government is testing, and then a Chinese satellite can triangulate that position and look at their camera footage of that time, and bada bing bada boom, they actually have something they can look at. Like there's so many fucking things that
Yeah,
we
but
don't
like
actually
pretty
know
soon,
because
U.S.,
it's beyond
China,
our
and
understanding.
Russia are gonna be. Isn't that the plot of Firefly? Isn't it the U.S., China, and Russia all team up together
I don't know.
in Firefly? I can't remember what the superpower was in that show.
All I know is when they're saying it's likely World War III on the media, it's almost never, and they're just trying to scare you. When you're hearing next to nothing about it,
Yeah,
it's a big deal.
it's not.
I know people who
going
theorize that the reason
great.
they weren't even reacting to the drones going over the United States military bases is because they want them to do something so that they have a reason to smack Russia.
A lot of people are saying that too.
Shit,
But
Yeah.
another thing that I heard, apparently there's a video of this. I haven't seen it yet, but 'cause I honestly don't want to see too much of it. But apparently there was a air support helicopter bringing a patient into a hospital,
Mm.
and the drones at night, because they only come out at night. These drones, they're painted like a blackish gray. I think Sophia was saying,
Mm-hmm.
and they stood in
I
like a
didn't say anything about them
triangular.
being painted, but go ahead.
Oh, okay, yeah. They're like they were positioned in like a triangular position over the helipad over a hospital, and you hear the pilot of the helicopter like, "I'm not landing in the middle of that." He's like, "I don't know what they're trying to do. I can get essentially he's worried about the patient in the
Right, yeah.
helicopter." So he ended up having to reroute to a different hospital because
Wow.
of these drones. And they're just smaller than like a regular like a plane, or not a plane, a helicopter.
Oh,
So
right.
they're
There's another thing I remember.
and yeah, now then they keep coming further and further up, down. No, they were in north. They started in North Jersey and now they're coming to Philly. So or coming
Also,
towards
not to spook you. Also, really not to spook you. This is the third other thing I was trying to remember. We've also seen a rollout of a type of drone that the Navy is extremely scared about because they're submersible drones that basically work like smart torpedoes.
Sweet.
It's as bad as it sounds.
Awesome.
They're really worried about it right now. So, like, yeah, tension's high, and don't expect military spending to be dialed back even remotely in the near future.
Yeah, I heard. I don't know how true it is, but I heard Putin was telling people to essentially prepare their military forces
They
for
don't have
World
the
War
numbers.
III.
They don't have the
I don't know.
numbers.
I don't know. But
You know what
there's
would be
drones.
really funny? If Biden just declared war on Russia now. That would be a really sticky
Well,
situation.
it
in
could
a co-
happen. It could technically happen, and then he could also, by right, refuse transferal of power for wartime security to Trump. He technically could do that. Yeah.
I also
Mm.
heard too that I forget who I was talking to. Once again, I'm not politically literate to know the full all of this, but apparently, it's possible. If you remember a couple weeks back, I was a little bit nervous about the British military threatening Russia when they said if you attack Eastern Europe, you'll essentially they were like you'll meet us on the field of battle. It's possible that they did that because if you're in NATO and you make a statement like that, essentially it locks you into NATO. So essentially what people are saying is that England made that move so that way when asshole gets in the Oval Office, that he won't be able to back out of NATO. That he'll be forced to fight with NATO.
But truly,
And also,
what
you have to understand the military
forces-
doesn't want to betray NATO either.
No,
Right?
it
Right.
doesn't.
No, our military doesn't at all. No, that is very true.
No. I think that our military is going to be very interesting to watch in these next coming months because I don't want to be like, if we lose the military, we lose it all. But if we do not have if we need a commitment from the United States military to say we
And the
will
CIA.
not, yeah,
Let's be real. One thing that people don't give the CIA enough, because the CIA is actually a poorly understood organization in the United States. A lot of people need to understand that a significant amount of force levied overseas by the United States government is also CIA because it's done under the branches of espionage operations. And
spies are real. James Bond's real.
Spies are real. CIA agents literally go and fight private fucking wars that you've never heard about and do operations to maintain your security and
do
American hegemony.
Do people think that espionage isn't real?
People who do are very highly uneducated. I'll tell you this. Those James Bond stuff are greatly exaggerated, but espionage is the majority of the black budget, aside from secret R&D that they can't really put out until like a world war happens because they don't want to give away the fact that they have advanced technology.
Right. You could even there are retired agents who talk about at least a little bit about disguises and stuff how you can look it up they talk about some
stuff. That guy with the curly wig, he's not a retired agent either. He's actually probably, people were theorizing he was an active agent who was put there on an operation and that they dressed him up to look exactly unlike he would in real life so that he's unrecognizable. That's like a full mock-up CIA agent people.
I know there was an old lady. She was an elderly woman.
Okay.
She was a retired she was retired, but they had her on a show. I forget what it was, and she was just talking about the reality of spy disguises. It's totally a thing. It's not just TV. That part's not just TV. Espionage is totally real.
We have the
CIA, and I know England has
and espionage. So this is another thing that I've been on a fucking soapbox about, and I know we're going a little late, but that's okay. We know that magic is real. The government's got to know that magic is real. How much fucking money goes into spying on witchcraft and witches? I really want to know. Do we have a secret ops division that has government
cash
magicians?
only budget.
The thing is, we even know that Alexander Dugin was Putin's right-hand magician, and the elite know that magic is fucking real too, right? We ain't the only bitches in fucking town. I'm just saying that. And
I just think for this Christo-fascist sort of thing, I don't know if they're necessarily the government is definitely doing occult research, hands down.
Of course. Why wouldn't they be? And also, if you're successfully spellcasting, why wouldn't they keep an eyes on you? Because you're a fucking potential asset. Real talk, somebody who can change reality in conformity with their will is I don't know, a big asset in a potential wartime or like a spy type scenario, because actions done through magic can't be traced in the same manner. Just saying, it's got to be a real thing. There's no way it's not.
I truly would like to start to organize some sort of regular workings, meditations, what have you, like within just this Discord community. Just start there. Like, what can we do to sort of like put these things into motion? Because what we bring out into the astral will manifest into the material. So I don't know. Whatever ideas.
Are we talking about occult activism here?
Yeah, essentially. I don't want to talk. I don't want to come up with, we can keep it within our community for right now. Because like we just said, espionage is real and it's a thing, right? So
our community is probably being watched already too. Like I said, any magic community probably is, because you can't have people who are potentially able to change reality by their thoughts and actions not being monitored. That's one of the that's probably something I would prioritize extremely highly if I was somebody in a position of power. Let's just say it like that.
But definitely, I'm definitely thinking within the realm of like, Dion Fortune's sort of meditations and workings that she did with her people during World War II, because a lot of the knowledge that she imparts in that book, maybe not necessarily the workings themselves, but just the structure, how to do it, the timing, this, that, and a third. It was just very put together. She has a whole framework of how to do it, and it was successful when they were doing it then. And why can't it be successful now? We're dealing with Nazis yet again, and so she figured out how to deal with it before, so we can build off of that and kind of modify it. So I don't know. I think I have some kind of like brain stuff cooking of like a framework for maybe how to work out those sort of meditations and stuff, and I guess I'll drop it in our like community grimoire channel, and anyone who wants to join in on that, I think would be good to do. Because granted, yeah, we get together and we talk here for an hour, but I think I would like to kind of take things a little bit of a step further, and what can we actually do as a community magically.
We could even set community magical goals of manifestation, and when the targets are hit, we moved on to the other things.
Right, yeah, that's precisely what that's precisely what they were doing. Like today's meditation is going to focus on these things, this part of the battle, the war that's happening. So yeah, that's 100%. We're on the same. Oh, there's Alice in Wonderland. There she is.
I also still need to get my I still need to finish my fourth pentacle of Saturn thing too. I wanted to get that done.
What was that for?
Oh, it's a particular I mean, some people say it's a very destructive form of protection, but really you can use it for all works of like destruction and sort of it's like, if you will, the whole premise of it is if you set like a magic bomb somewhere and it starts to slowly decay the actions of those who wish you ill, kind of thing, and it starts to topple kingdoms and such. It's a really powerful pentacle. It's often, and you could use it as a form of protection because it will sort of do like an offensive protection. You touch me and then something stronger lashes out at you, kind of thing. It will do that because of the in the books of Solomon, it literally says all works of destruction, something and something. So it just kind of is like you can use this particular pentacle for all works of offensive sorcery. But I really like it because it is designed to bring down the things that stand against you, like to topple. You know what I mean? It has like a lot of that kind of energy to it. Very
like the tower must fall,
like kind of vibes. Which, by the way, you can probably also, like, if you have I think it would be even cooler if you maybe even drew this on like the tower card. Like if you have a tower, you probably could do that too. I have all these ideas. I haven't written them down yet, but
well, that's the fucking card of our. That's the card of our decade. Is the tower.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. So, yeah, I definitely want to get that done, but it ain't gonna be
Oh my
today.
god.
'cause
Completely
today,
on a side note, but I just took a hit, so I'm gonna take this moment. Speaking of like magical bombs, I accidentally made infused bombs. I was trying to make vapes, and it did not go well because I used coconut oil, so it literally freezes inside the cart. But I figured instead of smoking it, you could just rub it on your body, and I think it will have the same effect. So yeah, I'm just gonna make actual magical bombs now, and we're gonna see how they work.
Those unfortunately will not be able to be listed on the website.
Not for sale.
That's the secret menu. Secret in-person
menu.
only menu.
It's funny too.
Proof of
Bomb
age, I'm
sounds so much
21.
like bomb. Bomb sounds so much like bomb that it's hard to
Yeah.
tell
Tell me
apart.
about it.
Yeah. I'm making a magical bomb. A
And
bomb? A bomb.
Could
A
you
bomb.
imagine a mass movement to trip up any type of organized information gathering where they're talking about bombs and they
But it's
think that
actually
they're talking about
bombs.
explosive devices and they're actually talking about skincare products?
Oh my god.
Funny.
Make a bomb. A magical bomb. Bomb.
Oh god, I used it as a
But-
paraphrase. now I got a whole thing started.
No, but like think about it though, right? Like if you want to cast magic that is like a bomb of a hex, a bomb of a spell, you know, you anoint yourself with the bomb. I'm telling
I'm
you.
deceased.
The bomb. That just made me think of Nintendo.
Bomb. Yeah, like
Bomb, 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 barrette.
oh my god, we get like a cease and desist from Nintendo. Please stop making.
Sorry, Nintendo.
Sorry, as I'm wearing
Nah,
this.
Nintendo ain't gonna cease and desist us. We ain't big enough. We are
No.
not big enough to catch a cease and desist from Nintendo lawyers.
Dawn wants to know: can the bomb
But if
explode
we
physically
blew up,
too? I guess.
The bomb cannot physically explode. We are legally required to state the bomb cannot physically explode. Okay, it is hand bomb. See the motion I am making with my hands? This is the type of bomb it is. It is a skincare product, not an explosive device. I repeat, not an
A
explosive
bomb,
device.
if you will. A bomb.
There it is.
I'm over here just trying to lotion my hands because it's fucking winter and this girl gets fucking reptile hands.
Yeah, me too.
Oh.
Oh my god, speaking of reptiles, I'm getting my fursuit head.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes!
Yes. We're those types of degenerates. Ugh.
I am every type of degenerate and I fucking love it.
I'm all the flavors. I did want to give a quick shout out to the people who are here in the chat. We did have 5 people here at one point. Dawn and Kai are here, as well as Brian was here. I hope you're still here.
Oh,
and who is
gosh.
Neil? Hello, who is Neil?
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah, so we had those folks here with us.
Julio.
today.
We have regulars. Stop.
We have people like us.
On a
Wow.
purely magical note too, I
Hmm.
became completely like enthralled. I found so there's this publishing company called Enodia Press. I'm so sorry to like whatever. And they have this entire collection of Faustian grimoires. Now, I knew that the Faustian tradition existed, and it technically was sort of it came through. It was sort of an invention using like Faustian mythology mixed with some like Solomonic stuff, but it is entirely it's kind of its own grimoire tradition, and they have so like one of the oldest Faustian grimoires, and they have it in English translation, and they look so nice. And there's like a collection of them. There's 2 volumes on necromancy.
Stop.
There's a volume on
What's the price tag?
I was just going to say how much.
They're $45 a pop for each book.
Stop.
Not terrible.
That's not the worst.
It's not
That is
bad.
It's
not
not
the worst.
terrible. Yeah.
I know
I
it's
paid
not.
a
It's
lot-
not that bad. It's not.
I paid a lot
Shut up
more
and
for
take my money.
Hermetica, which is I paid a lot more for Hermetica, which is just the Corpus Hermeticum and the Asclepius
Yeah.
translated and like annotations and shit.
They get it. Yeah, that can get expensive. I've seen prices for that too. Yeah.
My
most expensive book was...
Gnostic and Hermetic shit is not cheap. Let's be real.
When it comes to buying things that have occult, esoteric knowledge, I really I don't fault people for spending money, especially for out of print books. Scarcity causes the price of it to go up, because it just doesn't, it's not printed anymore. So there are only X amount of copies in existence. So I can understand that, the price creeps up $100, $180, $200, $300, oh god, $500 book. I totally get that. And, if you have the means to do that. However, for your How to Meditate Workshop 101 is not worth $500 because you just send out that PowerPoint.
That's a $20 book.
Yeah, that is not the same kind of thing because you have an infinite number of those courses to send out.
If it's an actual just 101 book, yeah, if it's an actual just 101 book, don't spend more than $30 on it. It ain't worth the money. Sorry. No offense. Unless it's all you'll ever need to know is a 101. Maybe. But you just real talk, you're gonna benefit more from just talking to people and going to things and practicing it yourself than you are for a lot of 101s, unless it's a really established author. I feel like the 101 market is so oversaturated. You could spend tons of money on 101 books and never actually find one that really works for you.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. I have a lot of 101 level books.
Never worked for me. The first book that really fucking worked for me was Liber Sigillum, because it had the chops enough to give me some fucking theory behind how this worked, so that I could wrap my head around it as a concept ontologically. But most people who weren't really willing to or able to write theory like that before weren't really going to gravitate towards a text like that, right? So I had been dabbling for a hot fucking minute before I even went down that route anyways. So yeah, definitely not the first thing I read, but it was definitely the first occult book I read start to finish.
Mm-hmm. We're at an hour and 20. So I don't know if we wanted to kind of yeah.
I'm getting ready to go fucking pick up a free laundry hamper and take y'all with me.
You look good, by the way, Sophia.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Fabulous.
So we're at an hour and 20. And any concluding thoughts for today's discussion?
Expect more billionaires to be shot.
Yes,
because a lot of people
literally was going to say that this is not over. Yep.
And they're so scared they're pulling their names off of the fucking Wikipedia and shit. The Wayback Machine doesn't exist.
They're trying to scrub.
And people already don't have lists.
Yeah, they're trying to scrub themselves from the internet. It's oh, are you scared?
If you're behaving so badly that you need to not have your job listed beside you, you should probably not be allowed to hide in that way.
Yep. And in the wise words of Lady Gaga from many, many years ago, and I'm not going to scream like she did, but are you listening? Are you fucking listening?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if y'all remember that, but
yeah.
What was that in response
I need you to be listening. What
was that in response to?
LGBTQ plus rights. She was yelling at the Obama administration. And she was talking about queer rights, and she said, "Are you fucking listening?" And it was really cool. But in words of Lady Gaga, are you fucking listening? Are you fucking listening? To those CEOs, are you fucking listening?
But they aren't. No, because all they're gonna do is up their security, and that's a tragedy.
It is. No, I literally said that to Darian last night, I think. It was Darian and my friend Richie. Yep. I said
every millionaire, every person in a certain tax bracket is about to get their own security force for them and their family.
Good.
And you can bet they're not.
But what if we infiltrated those security companies? Because they're working people, they're working class people that you have protecting you. Do they really care that much about you?
Exactly.
How many queers work in security?
You for real though, for fucking real. Honestly.
Also, Sophia, before you go, I got you tomorrow for your divination. Okay, you just got to.
Can you pull just one single card for me tonight after the?
Yeah, just okay. Terrible. Let me pull for you. Okay, as long as you will let me still pull just for you tomorrow, so that way I know that I'm giving you a good read. Is that okay? So I'll pull one for you today, and then definitely give you a reading tomorrow. Is that cool?
Oh, I have a phone call coming in. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Be safe.
All right, bye, Sophia.
I'm not hanging up. It was just a spam call.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were headed
Oh.
out. But I think we can, kind of sign out of here for today. Thank you for everyone who did drop by. It was
Bye,
awesome to see
everybody.
you all. I'm so happy we have regulars. It's a beautiful
Say
thing.
love.
Yeah.
We
So
love y'all.
We do.
Yes, we love you all. We'll see you in the next one. I think if our next one will be next Sunday, which should be after the Parade of Spirits. So hopefully we'll have enough energy to record that day. Scott, I'm not.
Here's hoping, pal.
Yeah. Scott, I'm not sure if you and Darian were planning to come down to the Parade of Spirits on Saturday.
I really want to see the Parade of Spirits. I
should
would
come.
even like to get dressed up.
Do
but
it. We get dressed up. We're going.
What day is it?
Saturday at like 3:30. They're gathering like around that time.
Oh no, I can't. The next Saturday, I promised to go to lunch with my friend Chris. I haven't seen him in a little while.
Kidok.
Oh,
Well,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Well, then.
So we'll be post Parade of Spirits, so we'll talk about all the fun things. Pray to the gods of parking for us, please, and thank you.
I swear.
Please and thank you.
All right,
All right, everyone.
Bye,
We will see you
everybody.
in the next